and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to be here today. My name is Nina, the leader of the group, and this is Alina, my teammate. I intend to give you a brief overview of our topic, how sweet is Tainan? Every time when we mention Tainan, most people will say, Tainan people all love sweet food. Tainan's half sugar is Taipei standard. Or else like, Tainan has only historic side. Tainan's traffic is chaotic. While some of it seems persuasive, others just feel like nonsense. So, we're here today to explain and clarify it. Let's begin with how sweet is Tainan?
Get back to the term program in the web application. Tainan is the main city to produce sugar. At that time, all the rich family can afford the price of sugar. Hence, this sugar in the meal is one of the ways to show off their standing. Till now, it's become normal for we to use sugar in our meals.
The eating habits between North and South are quite different too. Take the rice noodle soup for example. In Taipei, the noodles are more like thick rice noodles and have fewer ingredients.
The rice noodle soup in Tainan is more chewy. Sometimes it has pork broth and spaghetti in it, and the soup also has a variety of flavors.
There's an interesting fact that I've learned recently. Do you know the soy sauce in Tainan tastes different from Taipei?
It tastes salty in Taipei, but in Tainan it tastes sweet.
Although I've been there for 16 years, I used to think all soy sauces taste the same.
You're not the only one. And do you know how Tainan is most famous for?
For its food?
No.
Historic site?
No. Tainan is most famous for its alleys. Every city in Taiwan has a lot of alleys. Of all the cities, Tainan has the most.
But I don't like the alleys because it's easy to get lost in the alleys and can't drive in it. Why does Tainan have so many alleys?
It's an ancient city with deep history and culture. And every alley in Tainan has its own story.
And delicious food.
Yes, besides stories, there's a lot of delicious food in Tainan's alleys. As the saying goes, delicious food is in the alleys.
As you say, Tainan's food is delicious, but the food in Tainan's alley is even better.
That's right. Now you know much about Tainan. Next time when you come to Tainan and lost your way because too much alleys, please don't complain.
Of course, next time I will slow down my step and try to find a new world in the alleys. Let's move on to the next topic. What comes to your mind when we talk about Tainan's transportation?
Maybe it's easy food, turn red light right, or repair the road often.
This is really what most people think of traffic in Tainan. But do you know the problem of voting can be traced through history?
Really?
Of course. Tainan was built in the form of radioactivity in the early stages of development. So, Tainan's traffic will naturally be fully repaired because of the old age.
And how about the turn red light right? Does it also have a special reason?
The red light turns right because Tainan has many circle roads, and in some of them, it is possible to turn a red light white.
But what does it matter?
Over time, Tainan people used to turn right at the red light of all the roads.
I think if they go to our city, they will wonder how they can turn red light on the red light.
I think so too. So we should all remind ourselves that it is very dangerous to turn the red lights right. Please don't do that.
And I also know the difference in mass transit between North and South too.
What's it?
Because public transportation is more developed in North, so people usually take the MRT or the bus.
What about South?
Public Public transportation in South is not as developed as North, so people usually drive by themselves.
I understand why most people would think Tainan's traffic is chaotic right now. That's me. The last topic. Does Tainan has all the historic sites?
Well, not exactly.
In fact, Tainan has many interesting activities and traditions. The Orchard Festival is one of them. Tainan is a city which can be named of the City of Orchard. The Orchard Festival will be held in March. Lots of tourists come to Tainan for a visit, and is one of the most famous events in Tainan.
My family planned to go to the Orchard Festival this year, but because of the pandemic, it's already been cancelled.
So, we have to all remind ourselves that we should wear a mask in public places and wash our hands after returning home. Besides that, I heard Tainan's catering tradition has existed for a long time.
That's right. Nowadays, many people in Thailand still choose catering when they get married. I have several catering events. The food tastes great, and sometimes it has an dancer on the stage. It's different from the Wendy we sing nowadays, but full of other feelings.
In conclusion, Tainan is a city that's full of various cultures. I hope we've made you know Tainan better. The best way to understand the city is to visit. I sincerely hope both of you can experience it yourself. I would like to conclude with a quote. Don't judge a book by its cover. Please don't judge Tainan just because of the saying on the internet. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Your topic about how sweet is Tainan is very good. You know, we live in Tainan. Sometimes we need to show to the world about our own city culture. Like you say, about the food, about the transportation, and the cultural festivals, customs, and traditions. It's not only we live in Tainan, we need to know all about this, but if you have a connection with the international friends, you know, you can introduce this topic to them also. Then I like the idea of your food, you know, connecting with South and the North, you know, what is the difference and similarities and differences. That is a good lesson for all of us to learn. Yeah. But the problem is you need to be more confident, you know, you need to be secure about your presentation. You are standing on the stage already, so take a chance, you know, just do the best performance, and I'm sure you did it. Thank you.
Okay, I kind of like the way you name your presentation， 因为你知道 sweet 它有点双关。其实你们三个有提到两个，第一个甜食 ，you talk about the sweet food in Tainan City, okay? The next one is a sweet hometown to live in. But the third one you haven't mentioned that in your presentation, and I suggest you could talk about that in the future, which is Tainan residents' hospitality. When it comes to Tainan City, many people will think of Tainan's hospitality because we are so welcome to our tourists and foreign visitors. Okay, so this is what you can talk about in the future. And what I also like about your presentation is that you pause. You let us think. You give us time to think, which is very good. You don't rush. Great. And your facial expression, okay, good job. And your eye contact. I could tell that you are truly interacting with us through your eye contact, which is also good. And you also incorporate the mini talks and conversations. But there's one thing I would like to talk about your conversation, like the conversation part. It's like, for instance, one of the sentences you said is, "I don't like alleys," right? Maybe you could try to make it like if it is the real conversation. You could ask I don't like alleys. Like make your changes in your tones or your speed. Okay, and the same goes to the other speaker as well. Okay, and but there's something I think it is a little bit irrelevant to the topic. 我说出来让你们参考看看，因为你提到是 How sweet is Tainan， 基本上你要提到的基本上你大部分要提到是 positive sides of Tainan City. So the parts that you mentioned about flooding or turning right during the red light, 有一点点的小偏题，你可以参考看看。And finally, about your closure part, I like the way that you end your presentation is to provide a famous quote to end your speech, which is very good. Okay, this is all my comments.